Well guys, another scrap out today video. What I'm going to be doing on this is I'm going to scrapping out a microwave for the copper and shred steel, aluminium, stuff like that might be found inside them. So we'll run through this quickly. I'm just going to remove all the screws from the microwave first. Well, we'll actually start off by giving you a look. So first thing I'll probably do is cut off this power cord, so that'll be our first bit of copper then coming off the microwave. As you can see, there is a lot of screws along here, and then we'd have some on the sides, some up here on the top. So we have some up here along the top. Put it into a position where it's easier for you to see. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do. Like, share, leave a comment. Okay, so that's our first bit of copper removed from it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove all the screws from the microwave casing itself. So the main thing we'll find inside of the microwaves is the copper motors, copper coils. May find a little bit of aluminium. May find some IC chips maybe on the control board itself as well. So I'm just going to pause the video there, remove all the screws, and then we'll be ready to take off the casing, because everyone knows how to take off screws. So it's just a matter of removing the rest of the screws from around the casing, and we'll be ready to move on to the next stage. Okay, so I've removed all the screws that I can see. I've removed the cord. So now it's just a matter of removing the casing. So this is the first bit of casing. So again, that's just going to be some shred steel. So we'll just flat pack him a bit to make it easier for dealing with later. Now we'll get a right look into this. So as you can see, we have a lot of wire. I've put on the gloves for this job because usually microwaves are very greasy. So we have our capacitor here. So the thing is to make sure that you have discharged this fully, because you can get very bad shocks off them. So we just cut these wires. I've done that. This has been discharged for a good while. So it's just a matter now of just cutting off some of the wires. So we'll just cut these off. So again, we're going to have a lot of cabling out of the microwave. Because the microwave, they can hold enough of a charge to kill, I reckon. So just make sure that you have it properly discharged. There's some braided wire running through there. So what we're looking at is the amount of wire we can get out of it. Okay, as I said, with the copper, stuff like that. So we have another screw over here on this little okay, this is the fuse board coming in. We're coming into the microwave. I'll just remove that, the earth cable, and have a look at the little board. So on the board again, some copper, some sort of wire, just connections, and a fuse. So nothing major on that board. this bit of plastic out if I can. Just move this bar. So again, just a bit of shred steel, little bit of connections on it, so that goes into my shred steel. Now I can get this plastic out of the way. So this plastic just contains the bulb, which at this stage was well heated up onto it, so couldn't even remove that, so it's just plastic. So again, if you have someone that buys your plastic, like I do, you can hold on to that plastic, and if you only want your plastic, just remove any of the brass or copper that's connected to it. Okay, so then we're looking at some more wire that I just need to cut down. Okay, so just some more wiring. I like to remove any screws I see anywhere. When I see them, I just remove them. So when later on, it should make it easier. Come back to him in a second because he's in an awkward spot. So. More plastic here in the back. So there's where usually you have your charge. So this is the spot that if it's not just charged properly, the capacitors, they can hold a queer amount of charge, so it can be lethal on them. So just be careful with them, make sure it's discharged, make sure it's an old microwave, it has been discharged properly for the capacitors. So again, we have some wiring on that. And this is so this bit here that I'm taking apart here now is where the radiation or the which gives you your microwave essentially works. The way it works by radiating the heat through your food. I do not take this apart, I just take it off. I don't go any further breaking it down because I don't fancy poisoning myself. So again, as you can see there, it's got your caution warnings on the stickers, so I don't break that down any further. That's your radiation, well, not radiation, well, that's what can generate the radiation. So I don't break that down, I just dispose of that with the proper recycling companies that look after that side of it. Now, just see if we can remove this a bit further. So again, any screws. Now is the time to remove them. So at the moment copper prices aren't great, so I don't bother stripping the wires down any further because there's not enough money, I don't think, in it to strip down these wires down to bare copper for the value, for the amount of time it takes. But I will do a video on just to show people the difference between it. So because some people strip them down, some people don't. So I'm one of the people at the moment who don't, unless there's extra money out of it. There's no point doing it because it takes a lot of time. Again, a little bit of wiring on that, and it's just a bit of plastic. So again, that goes in with my plastic. I'll remove any of the connections like this. I'll remove these because again, these will be brass usually, so I can take them off for my brass. Again, here we'd have a few little brass connectors, so I'll remove them for my brass. I'm just trying to get into this control board here at the front just to see if there's anything of value in there. So this is the control board. So any that watches my videos, you know that I'm mainly into the e-waste recycling, but I do this. This is where I make this bit of extra cash is from the copper. I hope to do copper ignits at some stage. So in a furnace, I'm working on making a furnace at the moment. So once I've that made, I might just do some videos of that with the copper. So this is just some LED, well not LED lights, just some lights that lit up at the front of it to tell you what was happening on the microwave. This is the main little control board, so we'll just have a quick look and see if in case them fingers were gold or anything on them, but there isn't. No, they're just Mylar without any gold on them. And this is the main part of the board. So on this main part of the board I have a little IC chip that I'll keep for my e-waste recycling. So we'll just remove another screw up here. Okay, so again, just some plastic. Okay, so on the board here, the main thing I'll be looking at keeping off this board is the IC chips, and there's some little MLCCs along here as well that is worth keeping, collecting up. So I'll keep that board for that purposes. On the other board, what's the main thing is our copper. So again, we'll have our copper in here. You can either strip that down further or put it in as it is into your scrap. If someone buys it, the price won't be as good as if you strip it down, but for the size of it, sometimes it's not worth stripping it down. Again, belt it with a hammer, break off the casing around the outside, and you get your access straight into the copper. Other than that, that's it really on that board. Now, so we have our plate. Oh, sometimes them plates are worth keeping. People break plates. I see people selling them on eBay for the plates for microwaves, because people break their microwave plates. So sometimes it's worth keeping for them. Might get a buyer, someone looking for that particular plate out of their microwave. Now we'd have one more little motor on the bottom usually, so which drives the turntable. So on this one, it's probably going to be too much work to get at it, so I'll probably just leave it as is, because it might be too much work, but maybe not. So that's it there. That's another little copper bearing motor. So again, just remove the wire from it. And again, you have your little bit of brass or copper on it as well. And inside of here, you'll have a little motor, copper bearing motor. So that's just all waste steel in. Now, so then we've got the main copper bearing transformer. On this one it is quite heavy because of the amount of steel on it. So that there is extremely heavy, but as you can see here you have your copper windings. Sometimes they will be aluminium and not actual copper. Which is the case on this one. You can see here when I scraped off the thing, they're not copper. So that one isn't copper, but usually the other one will be. So I'll just take off my gloves for this because I need to get a better grip to get in under here and cut this. Just to make sure this is copper that's under here. So, and unfortunately it's not. So I was hoping that'd be copper. So, oh wait, there might be underneath. Yes, copper. So that has your, once you scraped it off here, I have your copper here running through it. First I thought it was aluminium, but it's not, it's copper all the way through. And this one is aluminium. So as you can see from here, when I remove the thing on it, it's just an aluminium. So one bit of copper and the rest is aluminium, and a lot of heavy steel on that. So, and then your other copper winding on the back fan motor. So again, we'll just remove this. So again, copper windings on that. So again, you can unwind that. You have your copper in there. We'll just, yeah, that's pure copper all the way through. So again, you can unwind that for your number one copper. A number two in some cases, depending on the coating that's on it. And again, we have a little motor which will contain copper as well. Again, I just throw them in with my motors. I don't bother stripping them down. I just throw them in with the copper motors. So that's what you get out of a microwave. So in this microwave I had a few copper motors. If I can put my hands on where I left them. 1, 2 copper motors that I'll just throw in for in as they are. I don't bother breaking them down any further. So I just throw them in as they are. I will break this down. I'll take off the copper windings from that because it's straightforward. Same with this. I will break this down in a future video. I'll show you how I break these down to remove this copper from it. But again, I leave that as it is. It's an aluminium. It's not worth. So when I break it down, it'll just be taken out as a lump of aluminium, and this will be our copper in here. So aluminium copper. The boards, again, I'll leave that in with my my copper motors or transformers, or whatever you want to call it. So it's just a matter of breaking it off the board. I usually break it off with a hammer, but we'll just see, will this cutter just go through it today to make it. That's it removed from the board. It's just a little bit of a chunk of copper. Again, a lot of plastic, steel, more steel on there with our copper, so I'll break that down again. That'll be put in with my steel. I can crack. You usually crack. You put in a vise. I crack it across here. If not, I use a grinder to cut it open. This one here again, usually a belt of the hammer will break this loose and allow me the access into the copper windings. Again, you have some copper running around here. Another bit of copper here. And as I say, the wiring, a lot of wiring on it, so I don't break it down any further because it's not really worth breaking down further at the moment because of the copper prices. If prices were a bit better, I'd break it down, but again, if you have a bit of time in your hands, you could always break it down. A little bit of copper on here as well that can be easily taken off, and the copper wiring. So that's what you'll find inside the microwaves. The steel, the plastic that I can get rid of. Some people can't get rid of the plastic or can't find a buyer for it. So if you can't find a buyer, it's just a matter of disposing into recycling. I'll hold on to this little chip that is worth for the e-waste side of it. So I'll just take that chip off here. There's nothing really else, a few MLCC chips, and that's it that we can take off. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about. So the last thing I wanted to talk about on this video was another YouTuber called Hazy Days. I got a CD there lately, so very good music. He does his own music, he makes guitars, he just have a little chat night, panel night, where there's some good characters on there. So if you just want a bit of time, listen, a bit of crack, listen to them, tune into them, usually 8 o'clock British time on a Sunday evening. They have that panel, but he also has this good album. So I purchased that album that he's wrote himself. They're all his own songs, very good. So make sure if you're into music, check him out, have a listen to his songs. His CD's available there on iTunes, it's on Spotify. It can be purchased as a CD from him, directly from himself. So very good music on that. Also want to give a shout out to Ian Matthews, another good scrapper there. If you're into, he scraps an awful lot of this stuff like washing machines, TVs, microwaves, everything like what I've just done there. He scraps it. He'll do further breakdown videos, so he'll show you how he gets the same as what I'll do in the future, how to get the copper out of these, out of other motors, out of plugs, the brass plugs, stuff like that. So check out his channel. Check out Gil Skills as well. Gil Skills does a lot of this stuff. Moose Scrapper, e-based bin if you're into the e-waste side of it. So hopefully in my next video I'll be doing back a bit of e-waste. I have PlayStations there, a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4 that I plan on scrapping out on the one thing, just to see which has the better amount of gold bearing materials, what's best for scrapping, which one of them is the best. So if you can put your hands on a lot of them, which ones will give you the better stuff out of them. So that hopefully will be my next 1 or 2 videos. Then won't be doing a few videos for a while because I'm going to America for a holiday. So I might do a few live streams from America, but again I need to get up to 1,000 subscribers because of the new rules with YouTube. So if you want to see some live videos from America when I'm over there, make sure you subscribe so I can hit that 1,000 number, so I can do that from my mobile phone when I'm over there. At the moment I think I have 770 something, so I have about 3 weeks to try and hit that 1,000 before I go on holidays. I'm going to Chicago and New York, so it should be try and do a few live videos. Maybe I might call to a few scrapyards or something like that and just see what it's like for scrappers in America compared to here in Ireland. So till the next video, thanks for watching.